1400 WJZM Radio, 7 o'clock, 49 degrees in downtown Clarksville. We'll take an extended look at our weather forecast after this update in national news.
The Big 1400 is WJZM, Clarksville, Fort Campbell, Hopkinsville.
This news flash brought to you by Heritage Bank. We are open for business. Your business. Bankwithheritage.com.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Carolinas have some cleaning up to do after being slammed by severe thunderstorms. National Weather Service forecaster Charles Grant says nobody knows the full extent of the damage yet.
We haven't done our storm surveys yet. That will be done this morning. They'll be leaving this morning. They'll actually go out and probably take all day because one of the tornado tracks we had looks to be fairly long.
The National Weather Service does know that many trees and power lines were brought down by strong winds. A number of killings in Tampa have police possibly looking for a serial killer, but interim police chief Brian Dugan says it's too soon to say.
Everybody wants to know, is there a serial killer? That's the big question that I get. And I have purposely avoided that because there's a stereotype associated with serial killers.
Dugan's comments airing on WFTS in Tampa. In the Lake County, California, I should say, Sheriff Brian Martin says that 3 people, including a California Highway Patrol officer, were shot in Clear Lake Oaks.
We have 2 people that are confirmed dead, and we have 3 people that are confirmed injured.
How serious are the injuries?
Non-life-threatening injuries. As I said, the Highway Patrol officer was treated and released to a local hospital.
And police say that a 61-year-old suspect was identified and taken into custody. President Trump urging House Republicans to pass a budget this week so they can turn their attention to tax reform.
The president joined a conference call with House GOP members on Sunday, personally imploring them to swiftly adopt the budget that was passed by the Senate last week. He warned that action on tax reform is crucial to avoiding political failure in 2018. The president also tweeted that there will be no change to tax incentives for the popular 401k retirement programs.
That is White House correspondent Greg Clugston. The Dow gave up 55 points yesterday to close at 23,274. This is SRN News. It's now illegal to become a Christian believer in Nepal.
The president of the small Asian nation has signed into law a measure that makes a religious conversion a crime. Mervyn Thomas of Christian Solidarity Worldwide says, quote, "We have seen how anti-conversion laws in India and blasphemy laws in Pakistan are used to fuel religious tension and target religious minorities. We urge the Nepali government to repeal this unjust law. Christians are a tiny minority in Nepal, less than 0.5%. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
Officials in London have rejected an anti-Israel ad campaign designed for the city's subway system. The ads, which were put together by the Palestinian diplomatic mission to the UK, called the 1917 Balfour Declaration the harbinger of the Palestinian disaster. That document stated that the British government would support the establishment of a Jewish homeland in what was then called Palestine. This is SRN News. Healthcare payment incentives are changing, and that will affect how your medical team works together.
Several hundred healthcare system executives gathered in Washington at the Global Healthcare Macro Summit to hear the latest on how new federal payment policies will affect the way medicine is practiced. The federal government is the biggest payer for healthcare through Medicare, Medicaid, and children's health insurance programs. All these programs now offer payment incentives for coordinated care that produces better outcomes. This is Dr. Charles Snyderman reporting from Washington.
Republican Ed Gillespie closing the gap on Democrat Ralph Northam in the Virginia governor's race. New York Post columnist Selena Zito says Northam has failed to excite his own voters.
They're really exhausted by that. They'd actually like to hear the Democrats, and Northam in particular, talk about issues that are important to the state.
Zito says that Northam has failed to excite voters with his bullet point campaign. Not a lot of enthusiasm, she says. She was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. More details at srnnews.com.
Loans. Heritage Bank. Those are the only 3 words you need to know if you need a car or boat or RV or storage building or pool or new garage or lawnmower or 4-wheeler or vacation. Or, well, you get the picture, right? Picture yourself with a loan from Heritage Bank and that special something that you've been wanting. Call or stop by your local Heritage Bank office today. Loans from Heritage Bank.
NMLS number 431499. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Bankwithheritage.com.
Clarksville area weather, partly sunny today, a high of 61, maybe a stray shower this afternoon, overnight low around 38 tonight. For Wednesday, a partly sunny, cool day, only up to around 58, low tomorrow night around 40, and Thursday, warming up to 70 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Currently, at 7:05, it is 49 degrees in downtown Clarksville. With a look at traffic, here's John Michaels.
Good morning. Traffic around the city and the county very busy for the 7 a.m. hour here this morning. Looks like 48 and 13. If you're coming into the city from the county, very busy, especially out by Montgomery Central. 41A Fort Campbell, not too bad at the moment. A little busy out on the north side by the Kentucky border. Looks like Trenton Road, Tiny Town Road, very busy. Pottertown Road, also out by the interstate, very busy as well. 79 out in St. Bethlehem is slow. Looks like the MLK 76 connector, not too bad at the moment. And 41A Sango, looking pretty good this morning, even with all the construction. Riverside Drive, very busy at the moment. 24, if you're headed to Nashville, it does look pretty good this morning, even with the construction on that area of the interstate. Let's check in with Commander Chuck and see what lies ahead for you when you get to Nashville.
Well, good morning. A trailer must have a flat tire here blocking the right lane, 65 southbound, before you get to Metro Center. Checking on an accident right now. It's going to be at Murfreesboro Pike at Pinhook. 40 east, slow again, from what we understand, coming from Dixon there at the 180-mile marker with that construction, and we had that stalled truck in that area earlier this morning. Hey, traffic is good for one thing, reaching your target customers on billboards. Call Nashville's only locally owned billboard company, Wingate Media, 595-8194. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
That's been a look at your traffic and weather and the latest national news this morning, all brought to you by Heritage Bank. It is 7:06. It is Tuesday, and that means it's time for the Tuesday edition of Good Morning Clarksville. Good morning, Chuck Edwards.
Good morning, John Michaels. And you know the Tuesday edition includes Tuesday with the mayor. Woo-hoo! That's right. During the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have Mayor Jim Durrett, County Mayor Jim Durrett, join us here on the Big 1400. But until then, we've got lots of things going on. So we're just so glad to be here with you to start your day. A little cool, so you might want a jacket as you send the kids out or even as you go out. Now, everybody's not tough like John Michaels and come out in short sleeves and thongs, but good morning. 1400 WJZM Radio. Tuesday. Good morning, Clarksville, Chuck and John. On the way this hour, Sports Now update with Justin Swallows at 7:20, brought to you by Power and Grace Preparatory Academy. Musically this hour, some Betty Wright, the Delphonics, and Jay Americans all on the way. But first, businesses, the birthdays. That's right. Drake is 31.
Ooh, one of my favorites.
He is a super... Is he?
Not.
Oh, not. Superstar, he's a Canadian rapper. Katie McGrath is 34. She was the Luthor Corp CEO, Lena Luthor, on Supergirl. She was also, she was Lucy on NBC's Dracula, and Morgana on Merlin, and Zara in Jurassic World. So, anyway, I don't know her. Mary Bono is 56. She became a California congresswoman after her husband, Sonny, skied into a tree and died. B.D. Wong is 57. He is Hugo Strange on Gotham. He was also Father Ray Makata on HBO's Oz.
He played on Law & Order, too.
Yeah, he was in Law & Order SVU. He played the Shrink. Kevin Kline. How do you think Kevin Kline is?
72.
Yeah. No, 70.
Oh. That's close.
Yes. I like Kevin Kline. Santo Farina is 80. He is the Santo of Santo and Johnny.
Yeah.
Remember Sleepwalk?
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest instrumental songs of all time.
We might have to dig it out for later.
Speaking of music, Bill Wyman.
Of the
Bass player for the Rolling Stones.
He is 94.
Is 81.
Wow.
And he still likes young women. Real young women.
He's kind of like Billy Joel.
Speaking of which, Billy Joel just welcomed his daughter in. We'll talk a little more about that. 7 days for Halloween, 12 days until daylight savings time ends.
Stop.
18 days until Veterans Day. What now?
Take out the daylight savings time one.
It's coming.
Nobody needs to know till it gets like the day before.
It's coming.
Everybody tonight, set your clocks back.
But it's always the weekend.
Straight,
you know. Don't forget to fall back. Don't forget to fall back.
I usually do that every
52 days
night.
until Star Wars: The Last Jedi opens for all the world to see.
Yep.
It's almost like the apocalypse. You know, everybody's waiting, for Star Wars: The Last Jedi to come.
But that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I
got to send some coffee out to Jimmy Troglin this morning.
You think he's still standing in line?
Yeah, he's still there waiting.
Go, Jimmy.
If anybody sees him, please take him a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and a donut.
Yeah, and a donut to help him stand up.
The Big 1400, WJZM. We roll along with the Supremes.
Kissing you.
Big 1400 WJZM Radio, 49 degrees, expecting a high around 61. It is Tuesday with the Mayor Jim Durrett, County Mayor Jim Durrett will join us during the 8 o'clock hour. But right now, back in the day.
All right.
47 years ago, and this was momentous. 1970, President Richard Nixon asked record companies to reduce the number of songs containing lyrics about sex and drugs. His request is still being honored today.
Yeah, that it is. And you know,
yeah.
I mean, they're more tame now than they ever were.
Yeah, right. 44 years ago, 1973, Who Loves You, Baby? Kojak, starring Telly Savalas, debuted on CBS. 28 years ago, in 1989, televangelist Reverend Jim Baker was sentenced to 45 years in prison and fined $500,000 for his conviction on 24 counts of fraud and conspiracy stemming from his PTL ministry. In 1991, an appeals court reduced that sentence to 18 years.
You know what that PTL stands for?
Praise the Lord.
No, pay the lawyer.
He had some good ones, because in 1994, Jim Baker was paroled after serving just under 5 years. Do you believe that? He was sentenced to 45, and he served just under 5 years. And when he was confronted about the missing $158 million, he claimed that Satan had gotten into his ministry's computers to make the money lost. When asked if he could prove Satan stole the money, Jim Baker replied, "Can you prove he didn't?" That shut him up.
He's pretty slick.
Yeah, that shut him up. 1989, Zsa Zsa Gabor was sentenced to 72 hours in jail, 120 hours of community service, and nearly $13,000 in fine and court costs for slapping a traffic cop.
No.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah.
Way.
20 years ago, 1997, Marv Albert, that rascal. Marv Albert was spared a jail sentence after he apologized in court for biting his lover's back during some very, very intimate relations.
Yeah, they must have been listening to some songs that Richard Nixon would not approve of.
In private.
Yeah, in private.
In private.
Well, they were at least in private.
They were listening to him.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Yeah. The Big 1400, WJZM Radio, Chuck and John for this Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you. Ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all. How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we shared the laughter
1400 WJZM radio, 49 degrees, expect a high of 61. Maybe a stray shower this afternoon, clear. 38 for an overnight low. Yep. Might want to bundle up. Tomorrow, partly sunny, but it's going to be cool. Maybe we might reach 60 tomorrow night, down to 40. That's not good. Thursday, warmer though. We'll be back up to 70 degrees. I was reading about, now I don't want anybody to tell Starbucks about this because we don't need them getting any ideas. They're pretty busy with that pumpkin spice latte.
So we need to put out a disclaimer.
No, don't.
Please don't tell Starbucks
Please
about
keep this to yourself. Don't tell anyone. You never know when a barista is going to be listening. There's a restaurant in New York called 11 Madison Park. That name sounds ritzy, doesn't it?
It does.
11 Madison Park. And they just debuted a new item on their menu.
Oh.
A cup of coffee that costs $24.
What?
A cup of coffee that costs $24.
I'll stick with my home
Now,
brew.
what makes it so expensive? They use a special rare bean from Colombia called Whoosh Whoosh. They make it in an expensive Silverton coffee dripper. And their, quote, coffee director, Meyer Albert, personally makes it for you at your table. So that's, you get a lot more than just a cup of joe.
Yeah.
You get it in that one, them fancy-dancy coffee drippers, and then, the coffee director, Maya, comes and makes it at your table. According to Maya, the coffee has a fascinating taste. Quote, it's got this creamy texture that reminds me of dough or yogurt, like blueberry pie.
Oh.
Okay.
What?
I don't want my coffee tasting like blueberry pie.
I don't as well. I want it to taste like coffee.
Pumpkin spice latte.
No.
I want it tasting like pumpkin spice latte.
Your mic's going to break in a minute.
Time now for a Sports Now update with Justin Swallows, brought to you by Power and Grace Preparatory Academy.
Cheesecake. It's one of those all-time favorite desserts. And the best you've ever had is waiting in the case at Coffee Breakin' Cheesecake. They make everything from scratch, right down to whipping their own butter. And they're creating delicious flavors like white chocolate with cookie crust, Reese's Pieces, Oreo mint, and s'mores. Come hungry because they sell not slivers or bites, but huge chunks of deliciousness. Coffee Breakin' Cheesecake at 1191 Fort Campbell Boulevard, Suite F, just past Dover Crossing. This Sports Now update is presented by Power and Grace Preparatory Academy. Now enrolling students in pre-K through 3rd grade online at powerandgraceacademy.com.
The Ohio Valley Conference will host their annual men's and women's basketball preseason media event today in Evansville, Indiana, the site of the league's 2018 postseason tournament. The OVC tournament has taken place in the league's home city, Nashville, for 23 of the past 24 years, with a 2002 trip to Louisville the lone diversion. In an early effort to sell the Evansville community on OVC basketball, 11 of the conference's head coaches joined forces yesterday to host a youth clinic at the local YMCA. About 75 kids participated in the event, receiving a YMCA basketball and free tickets to the 2018 OVC Hoops Tournament. Now to the lanes, where both the boys and girls bowling teams at Clarksville Academy picked up region wins last night over the University School of Nashville. The Cougars won 20-7, led by Dawson Bagwell, who bowled a team-high 219. The Lady Cougars, with the help of a school record 246, bowled by Leah Hayes, bested USN 19-8. Lastly, today we take you to the NBA because the Memphis Grizzlies are off to a red-hot start, their best since 2014. The Grizzlies are 3-0 after taking down the Houston Rockets on the road last night, 98-90. Memphis center Marc Gasol was largely responsible for the win, putting up a team-high 26 points and making a difference on defense as the Grizzlies ended the game on a 20-2 run. The Grizzlies will continue their Western road swing on Wednesday night in Dallas against the Mavericks. From the WJZM Sports Desk, this is Sports Now, and I'm Justin Swallows.
With the Christ-centered curriculum and a high expectation for academic mastery, Power and Grace Preparatory Academy has set the gold standard for elementary learning. Certified by the Tennessee Department of Education, they've extended their offerings to include music, art, and Spanish. Additionally, students will be participating in STEAM Fridays, emphasizing science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Before and after care is available, spanning from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and enrollment is open for children in pre-K through the 3rd grade. For more info, visit powerandgraceacademy.com or call 931-320-9862.
The Big 1400 WJZM Radio. We've got another Sports Now update during the 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Coffee Break and Cheesecake. Speaking of food, you can get free sushi this Thursday at participating PF Chang's, and you don't even have to buy anything to get it.
Sounds
good.
good.
Sushi, man. Yeah. The Big 1400 with Glenn Fry.
I had a good life before you came. I had my friends and my freedom. I had my name. Still there was sorrow and emptiness till you made me glad. Oh, in this love I found strength I never knew I had. And this love is like nothing I have ever known. Take my hand, love. I'm taking you home. Taking you home. There were days, lonely days, when
1400 WJZM Radio, Don Henley. I said Glenn Fry.
Well,
because I was thinking the Eagles and all.
That's
but
right.
Yeah,
it's easy to do.
Yeah, that was Glenn Fry.
Don Henley.
Oh, Don
I thought
Henley.
it was Joe Walsh.
No, it's Don.
It's not
Don
Joe
Henley.
Walsh?
No. So I want to give you some time to think of the scariest villain of all times. And we're doing this thing today, all things Halloween. We're going to do a lot of Halloween stuff.
But it's
think
not
of
Halloween.
Yeah, just think of it. And a little later on this hour, we're going to talk about, they did a study on the ThrillList.com, put together a list of the scariest horror villains of all time. So I want you to think of, maybe a couple that you think are pretty scary, okay?
Okay.
All right. Don't forget, Bob Kessling's Vol Network Notebook comes your way at 7:50 this morning, brought to you by Copies and a Flash, right here on the Big 1400.
Ever lost or misplaced your debit card? Now, before that happens, download the Card Valet mobile app. With it, you can turn your F&M debit card on and off, establish when, where, and how it is used, and much more. And best of all, it's free. From F&M Bank, member FDIC.
You got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Brad, I can help with coverages. Man-to-man coverage, zone coverage, combo coverage.
I don't know, Peyton. I was thinking the types of coverages that your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, like home, auto, business, life, farm, boat, your tour bus.
Products availability varies by state, agent, and other factors. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company, Columbus, Ohio.
For all your mini sides, there's Nationwide. Call Clarksville agent Carter Briggs today at 931-906-5100.
Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. It's your car, it's your voice. Jackson's Body Shop, the best choice. Dents, stings, major body repair. A pre-loaner car, 'cause we really care. Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. Call 647-6989 or Jackson's.
Warren's Apothecary is much more than just a pharmacy. From prescriptions to home medical equipment, these folks have been taking care of families since 1960. They will take care of your prescriptions. They have certified fitters for mastectomy supplies. Warren's Apothecary has hospital equipment for sale or rent, and much more. Most insurances are accepted, and they have free delivery. Give them a call to find out more. 931-647-6791. Warren's Apothecary is located at 1647 Memorial Drive in Clarksville. Call 931-647-6791.
The Big 1400 is WJZM, Clarksville, Fort Campbell, Hopkinsville.
Take advantage of end-of-year savings at Bobcat of Clarksville. We have as low as 0% financing and low monthly lease payments on Bobcat loaders, excavators, and descent heavy equipment. Need rental equipment or attachments? Give us a call, 931-436-9555, or find us online, bobcatofclarksville.com. Don't forget to stop by our open house for lunch on Friday, October 27th. Bobcat of Clarksville on Alfred Thune Road, Clarksville. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
There's finally a stress-free, no-risk way to buy a new mattress thanks to Beds Express. With their Triple Z guarantee, there's literally no way you can go wrong. Don't waste another night tossing and turning on your old, worn-out bed. Dive into affordable comfort at Beds Express in Clarksville at 1767 Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, Bellevue at 7643 Highway 70 South, and in Murfreesboro at 2222 Medical Center Parkway. Beds Express, Middle Tennessee's better sleep solution.
It's the 2017 Model Year-End event at Matthews Nissan. Voted the best place to buy a car at the Best of Clarksville Awards. 700 new and used. Get a new 2017 Altima 2.5S, $16,977. What a deal. 0% APR financing on new 2017 Rogue, new Armada, new Titan, and new Frontier with approved credit. 2017 Versa S Plus, $10,977. Choose the 2017 Truck Trend Pickup Truck of the Year, a new Nissan Titan. And they all come with a 5-year, 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. Military pay no tax and get extra incentives. Auto credit challenged? We can help. Hurry to Harold Matthews Nissan or MatthewsNissan.com. You're going to love our prices. Stock number 108611, HC 254841, HL 893396. All prices plus tax, title, and license. $657 processing fee included. Dealer to retain Nissan cash. Military offer restricted to full-time personnel stationed to Fort Campbell, Kentucky or Tennessee-based military facilities. Ends 10/31/17. Source ClarksvilleNow.com. 10/2017.
The Big 1400 1400 WJZM Radio. Right now we're at 50 degrees. Expect a high of 61. All things Halloween. You know, I was thinking they just came up with a list of the 31 most haunted places in America, and the White House made it. Oh. The big 1400 WJZM Radio. The Tuesday edition of Good Morning Clarksville. It is Tuesday with the mayor. County Mayor Jim Durrett will join us during the 8 o'clock hour. You think he'll probably want to talk about the ice skating rink?
Yeah, you know, I saw it's supposed to up, the day after Thanksgiving?
It is.
Family of 5 can skate for $50.
Yeah, it was interesting
$50.
Because one of the news channels last night was doing a story on Antioch and how it's growing.
Yeah,
and,
Antioch on the rise tonight on blank, blank, blank.
Yeah, and, they said that ice skating rink is a big reason why they're growing like that. I mean, everything is kind of centered around that.
And Antioch?
I mean, they're open 17 hours a day to keep up with the demand. So, if we can do that.
If we can do 12, I think that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yep. All things Halloween.
Oh,
Thrillist.com put together a list of the 33 scariest horror villains of all time.
Okay.
Somehow Harvey Weinstein wasn't on it. But
the White House
Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is. Leatherface came in first.
Really?
Yep.
Michael Myers has got to be top 5. Really?
No. Margaret White, a.k.a. Carrie's mom from Carrie, is number 2. The Thing, from The Thing, the remake of The Thing in 1982.
That had Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah, I like that movie.
It's okay.
I like that movie.
I still like the original. You know who played the monster in the original?
Yeah, Jim Arness.
That's correct, sir. All right.
Matt Dillon, yeah.
You're a winner.
Number 4 was Pazuzu, the Exorcist. That's the demon that possesses a Linda Blair, and she turns her head around and,
throws up the pea soup.
Yeah. Number 5, the Alien from Alien. We're talking about...
Who made this list?
Thrillist.com.
Oh, they crazy.
The 33 scariest horror villains.
They
I thought that
crazy.
The Alien from Alien was pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay.
The Shark from Jaws. Norman Bates from Psycho was number 8. Ann Wilkes from Misery was 90. No, it was number 9. The movie was in 1990. Now, they start getting in, Dr. Jack Griffin from The Invisible Man back in 1933. That was
pretty good.
Speaking of movies, I saw one of my favorite movies, and I was not the same after. I always get, The Elephant Man was on last night.
Oh.
Come on, John. But I mean, that was such a great movie to me.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
John Hurt.
John Hurt in that?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was the Elephant Man.
Well, how about that? I didn't remember.
Yeah, done good. Dracula. He's one of the. Yeah,
you want to borrow mine to watch? I have the original.
No, I
have the Wolfman as well.
I've seen the original. Lon Chaney.
Yeah, you want to watch that?
I've seen that.
Oh.
Now, this Babadook, have you watched that?
Huh?
Babadook.
No.
I've seen it. I didn't know it was a horror movie. I've never watched it.
I've heard of it.
Let's see. Some of the others. Pennywise came in 16.
Yeah.
This was chapter 1, which was released this year.
Yeah.
Let's see. You said Jason?
Michael Myers. Jason. Yeah.
From Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger came in 20th.
I like Freddy.
So,
Freddy can be comedic as well. While he's whacking somebody. He can make jokes about it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. When I'm watching, I've seen bits and pieces. I'm not a horror movie fan. But when I'm watching some of those movies, I probably don't get a lot of the, like in The Shining.
Yeah.
That was pretty weird.
Yeah. But I mean, some of them you have to. I mean, sometimes the dialogue is pretty good.
Oh, okay.
And Freddy used to. Now, the latter Freddy movies got kind of silly, but the first couple were pretty good. The next to last one was pretty good.
Haven't they been 18?
Pretty close.
Yeah. And every time they think they've killed Freddy and Jason, every time they think they've killed them,
they come back.
They come back.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wish Freddy would come back again.
You don't think he will? You don't think he will?
Robert Englund is getting too old to play Freddy.
Okay. Well, we'll find somebody else.
No. There's only one Freddy.
Okay. Only one Freddy, according to John. The Big 1400, WJZM Radio. It is the Tuesday edition of Good Morning Clarksville. Chuck and John and the Delphonics.
Many guys have come to you with a line that wasn't true, and you passed them by. Though you're in the scenery, and their lines don't mean a thing, why don't you let me try? Now I don't wear a diamond ring. I don't
1400 WJZM radio, 50 degrees, expect a high of 61, 38 for an overnight low. Probably won't get out of the 50s tomorrow. Maybe a stray shower in the forecast later on this afternoon, but that should be passing 50 for a high today. Everything, all things Halloween. There's a restaurant in Chicago selling pumpkin pie. Not so unusual, right?
No, it's not.
But they're selling pumpkin pie that's clear instead of the normal orange color. For some reason, the slices are tiny, though, like a fifth of the size of a normal slice. And because less pumpkin pie is what people want, right?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it could be.
No.
I don't care what they do with it.
No.
They feed it to the hamsters.
You don't like pumpkin pie?
Negative.
Oh, okay.
Don't like pumpkin spice latte. I don't like pumpkin spice anything.
Yeah, he's a grouch.
I like sweet potato pie.
Oh, now you hit a nerve. Now you hit a nerve.
I like sweet potato pie.
Time now for the
pie.
Yeah, time now for the Vol Network Notebook, brought to you by Copies in a Flash on the Big 1400.
Tennessee looks for its first SEC win of the season Saturday night against Kentucky. This is the Vol Network Notebook, brought to you by your local Farmers Co-op. Co-op, proudly farming Big Orange Country. Tennessee heads back out on the road Saturday to Kentucky, looking to snap a 3-game SEC losing streak. The Vols coming off a 45-7 loss at Alabama. Coach Butch Jones said nobody in the Tennessee camp is happy about the situation the Vols find themselves in at the present time.
I want to make sure we make this clear that Tennessee is not okay with being 3-4, and definitely Butch Jones is not okay with being 3-4. You know, we have to keep working and work our way through this and work our way out of this. We have to learn from our 7 prior games, and now how do we apply those experiences from the past games and apply it to this preparation this week and moving forward. Obviously, we're all disappointed in our performance, and we see things in small increments that are positive where we're making progress. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up on game day.
While Tennessee is smarting by the loss at Alabama, Kentucky dropped to 5-2 with a 45-7 loss at Mississippi State on Saturday. On football Saturdays at Neyland Stadium, it takes a team effort for the Vols to drive down the field and into the checkerboard end zone for a touchdown. It also takes countless hours of practice beforehand to familiarize each player with his assignment. Your locally owned co-op is a trusted teammate to farmers from Union City to Mountain City. The roster made up of men and women providing unmatched service and expertise to help folks score a victory with their crops, livestock, garden, and much more. Co-op, proudly farming Big Orange Country. Tennessee looks to continue its upper hand in the series with Kentucky. The Vols have won 31 of the last 32 meetings, including the last 5 and the last 2 in Lexington. Kickoff time Saturday night in the Bluegrass, 7:30. Reporting for the Vol Network, I'm Bob Kessler.
Maintaining a professional appearance in today's competitive market is key to success. Do you have a need for a new logo design? See Copies in a Flash. Their expert team can assist you from start to completion of your logo design. Maybe it's a flyer you need. They can do that as well. Anything to do with print, your local Copies in a Flash can handle it all in a flash. Visit Copies in a Flash at 1841 Business Park Drive in Clarksville. Copies in a Flash offers free delivery. See Copies in a Flash and view all their offerings at copiesinaflash.com. Copies in a Flash says go Big Orange and are proud to support our community.
The Big 1400, WJZM Radio. Well, congratulations to Billy Joel and his wife, Alexis. They had welcomed their second child. Her name is Remy. Billy Joel is 69. His wife is 31. Woo. You go, Billy. You.
Is a woman who gets all the love we girls leave behind. The reason I know so much about her is because she picked up a man of mine. Jumping slick was my ruin, 'cause I found out all I was doing was making it easy his blues away. She'll give him plenty loving 24 hours a day. The clean-up woman, she'll sweep him off his feet. She's the one who'll take him in when you dump him in the street. So take a tip, you better get hip to the clean-up woman.
The Big 1400 WJZM Radio. It is 7:55. Don't forget, we've got UT football this Saturday, October 28th. The Volunteers take on Kentucky. The Wildcats at airtime 5 o'clock. Kickoff at 6:30 with Bob Kessling and the crew. All the action of University of Tennessee football on the Big 1400 this Saturday.
This magic moment, so different and so new, was like any other, until I kissed you, and then it happened. It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too, by the look in your eyes, sweeter than a waltz, softer than a summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight, this magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever, forever till the end of time. Sweeter than a waltz, softer than a summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight, this magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever, forever till the end of
The Big 1400 WJZM Radio, 50 degrees at 7:58. We'll have a complete look at our weather forecast after this update in national news.
The Big 1400 is WJZM, Clarksville, Fort Campbell, Hopkinsville.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Carolinas enduring some rough weather overnight. Nobody knows just how bad the damage is. Weather Service forecaster Charles Grant says severe weather was reported over a large area.
Spartanburg County, South Carolina. That's pretty much where it started. And started tracking northeast through Cherokee County, South Carolina, Cleveland County, North Carolina, and then up through Burke, Caldwell, Catawba counties in North Carolina.
This is Charles Grant at the National Weather Service. He says they won't know the extent of the damage that was done by the storms until they get out and take a closer look today. A Florida neighborhood on edge after 3 people were shot and killed over the past 2 weeks. Police believe the shootings are linked, but they're stopping short of saying that there's a serial killer on the loose. Outgoing Southeast Seminole Heights Civic Association President Stan Lassner says there is a reward being offered for any information.
We've raised with the city of Tampa Tampa Police Department, there's now over $25,000 for a reward. We're still fighting to get that number higher because I think the higher the number is, the more likely someone will be to come forward.
Lasser's comments airing on WFTS. In some parts of America, it's a little bit more like summer than fall right now. In Southern California, scorching sidewalks are actually a reality. National Weather Service forecaster Rich Thompson.
Right now we're forecasting to be the warmest World Series game ever in the history of Major League Baseball.
And today, after temperatures topped 100 degrees all over the region, forecasts called for it to be even hotter today. The Dow gave up some ground yesterday, losing 55 points by the closing bell, but Dow futures looking strong right now, up by 140 points. NASDAQ futures are up by 9. S&P 500 futures are up by 4 points. This is SRN News. A Christian movie over the weekend brought attention to the life and work of A.A. Milne. Goodbye, Christopher Robin is featured in theaters around the country, and it talked about the life of the man who brought Winnie the Pooh to life for millions of American children. The Church of England losing its children, as Michael Harrington explained.
According to figures compiled by Britain's state church, about 25% of its congregations have no children attending services in any given month. It's another bad news statistic for the church, which has been losing members at a very high rate for more than a decade. The Guardian newspaper reports Anglican baptisms are also down sharply, as are marriages and funerals. Meanwhile, the church faces a potential split over same-sex marriage.
That's Michael Harrington reporting. Churches across the U.S. and around the world gearing up for next week's 500th anniversary of the start of the Protestant Reformation. This is SRN News. Sears says it will no longer be selling Whirlpool appliances, ending a business relationship that dates back to more than 100 years.
In a note sent to stores last week, Sears said that Whirlpool was making demands that would have made it difficult to sell appliances at a competitive price. Sears has been ravaged by new competition for years, however, from stores like Home Depot and also from Amazon.com and other online retailers.
That is correspondent Ken Lorman reporting. Sears says it would sell off the remainder of its Whirlpool inventory. Federal and state officials say they have signed off on a proposed fix for some 38,000 VW, Audi, and Porsche vehicles with diesel engines. Those engines came attached to software that cheated on U.S. emissions testing, making them appear more environmentally friendly than they were. Owners will also be compensated from between $7,000 and $16,000 apiece. More details at srnnews.com. From Washington, I'm Bob Agnew.
Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. It's your car, it's your voice. Jackson's Body Shop, the best choice. Dents, dings, major body repair. A pre-loaner car, 'cause we really care. Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. Jackson's Body Shop, downtown. Call 647-6989 or Jackson.
The Big 1400 WJZM Radio, Clarksville area weather. Partly sunny today, high of 61, maybe a stray shower this afternoon. Clear tonight and cool, 38 for an overnight low. Wednesday, partly sunny, 58 for an expected high. Low Wednesday night around 40. Thursday, warmer, plenty of sunshine. Expect a high of 70 degrees. Currently, we're at 50 degrees in downtown Clarksville. With a look at traffic, here's John Michaels.
Good morning. Traffic at this hour, not too bad here on a Tuesday morning. It is still very busy out 48 and 13, especially if you're coming into the city from the county out by Montgomery Central. Still pretty slow out that way. 41A Fort Campbell, not bad. 79 out in Woodlawn, not bad as well. 79 St. Bethlehem looks pretty good. Tiny Town Road is very busy in a couple of spots. Also, College Street and Riverside Drive and New Providence Boulevard look busy. 41A out in Sango is not too bad, even with all the construction going on. And if you're headed to Nashville, well, 24, even with the construction, it is a little slow in a couple of spots, but not looking too bad. Well, let's check in with Commander Chuck and see what lies ahead when you get to Davidson County.
Good morning. Still very heavy now as you travel down the Interstate 40 westbound out of Wilson County into Davison. That earlier wreck really jammed it up. It's also been sluggish coming from Dixon this morning on 40 East because of that road work around the 180-mile marker. Finishing up that accident 24 East there at 440, bumper to bumper, 40 westbound here at Spence Lane. Dr. Elizabeth Baker at Maryland Farms Chiropractic specializes in headaches and migraines. Call 309-8279. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
That's been a look at your traffic and weather together and the latest national news here on the Big 1400 WJZM 805. That means we're into hour number 2 of Good Morning Clarksville. Good morning, Chuck Edwards.
Good morning, John Michaels. It is Tuesday with the mayor. County Mayor Jim Durrett will join us this hour, and I'm sure we'll talk about the ice skating rink.
He might take us skating.
Yeah, he might give us a free pass.
Well, he might just take us. Can you see? He might just load us in the car and say, let's go skating, boys.
Yeah, let's go. That's right.
And I want to see you get out there first before I do.
No, I'm usually an observer. I would be more than, but
we'll watch Mayor
someone, one of our listeners has issued a challenge.
Yes.
And so we're going to lay it out.
Justin.
We'll tell you about that shortly here on the Big 1400 WJZ Radio. Can you tell if he love you so?
It's the Shoop Shoop song.
Shoot. The Big 1400 WJZM Radio, Chuck and John. Don't forget, we've got high school football. Our game of the week is Clarksville Academy versus Davidson Academy this Friday. Airtime 6:45, kickoff 7 o'clock. Justin Swallows will be on the call as the Cougars take on Davidson Academy. Okay, we had a challenge. Someone has heard us talk about all things Halloween, and they said that basically, if you were blindfolded, you could not taste the difference between pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. What do you think about that, John Michaels?
I think we probably could, if it was made correctly.
Aha! That's the operative word. Now,
If it was prepared correctly,
now, the person
I
who
guess I should
challenged us and said that we wouldn't be able to taste the difference, I don't think he's had sweet potato pie.
Real pumpkin pie.
And I don't think he's had pumpkin pie, because there is a difference. And I think I could tell the difference if it's made correctly.
That's true.
You know,
if it's
so
prepared like it's supposed to be.
Exactly. So, we're going to lay down the gauntlet that, yes.
What do you think? What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Can you tell a difference?
Yeah. Do you think you can tell the difference between, if you were blindfolded, could you tell the difference if you sampled pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie? Give us a call, 645-6414. Operators are standing by.
That's right.
At
right
the Big
now.
1400.
right now.
A starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day, and everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. There is none so blind
The Big 1400, back to 1970 with Ray Stevens, and everything is beautiful. Okay, the challenge is this morning on Good Morning America. Good morning, Clarksville.
Glenn Fry?
Yeah, Glenn
That was
Fry.
Glenn Fry.
Good morning, Clarksville is pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie.
Yes.
Can you tell the difference? We have a caller. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good, good. Okay, did you hear what the challenge is?
I sure did.
Can you tell the difference between pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie if you were blindfolded?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know where this person who challenged us to this, I don't know, evidently his wife might not be very good in the kitchen. She's missing something. She's not putting something in the right place. If her pumpkin pie tastes like sweet potato pie, or her sweet potato pie tastes like pumpkin pie. You know, I think something's wrong.
I think so too. Pumpkin pie is not as sweet as sweet potato pie.
True. Yes, that's exactly. Well, that's one of the things. And I don't know. Do you put marshmallows in pumpkin pie?
No, I don't.
No.
I know some people put marshmallows in sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, but not my family.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're going to be a purist, you want
it straight, like
you want it
coffee.
straight. You don't need all that
additives.
stuff. You know, you don't need all that stuff on your. What do you have a preference? Which one do you like the best?
Oh, sweet potato pie.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good. You know how like that flaky crust. You know when you cut into it with that fork. It is good. Thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Have a blessed day. Bye.
You too.
So anyway.
Well, see, now there's some.
Yeah, somebody can tell. You know, and
Somebody
we know Mayor Jim Durrett knows the difference. You know, he's a good old country boy. He knows the difference. We'll let him get situated here. You know. You know, so wait a minute. I don't think you plugged in.
Probably can't hear if it's not plugged in.
It's not plugged in.
And then it may be blast when he gets plugged in. You may blow his ears out.
No, I won't cut it down.
Okay, do that while we fumble around here.
Can you hear now?
Check
No.
1, 2, 3.
He still can't hear.
I'm in the back of a car. Can you hear me now? Checking 1, 2, 3.
No.
Here, I can try these on.
I'm in the back of a truck.
These are plugged up.
I'm in the back of a truck.
All right, can you
I hear you now.
Okay,
Somebody's in the back of the truck.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he hears us now. How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
It is Tuesday with the mayor, and County Mayor Jim Dewitt joins us. And we'll get down to particulars in a minute. But we had this challenge. Everything's Halloween.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to go with Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving because the day after Thanksgiving, the ice skating rink's supposed to open.
That's right.
But we had a challenge that said they could not tell you, if you were blindfolded, you could not tell the difference between pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie.
Who said that?
I think it's bogus.
I do too.
I think it's bogus. I think his wife must be tricking him or something.
Yeah, she ain't a good cook.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that.
I don't know who called in and said that. I may ought to retract that.
I mean, if they're interchangeable, if her sweet potato is interchangeable with a pumpkin pie, and he can't tell the difference, he needs to get out more. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he needs to.
I
get
agree.
Out. Yeah,
I think I could taste the difference.
I can. I think I could. I know I could if it was my mother's.
Yeah.
I know it was my mama's or my wife's pie, my wife's sweet potato pie. And some of the store-bought sweet potato pies are pretty good.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of them. Mrs. Smith, and I can't. There was this other one John and I were trying to think of, but I think that we could tell the difference between sweet potato and the pumpkin pie. So you doing okay?
I'm doing good.
Been busy?
I have been. I had a little time off. I enjoyed that, and back in the grind.
Back in the groove.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we want to talk about the ice skating rink. They had a big article in the paper yesterday. It's going to open up the day after Thanksgiving, so it's on schedule then.
It is. Chuck, the whole park won't be open. We're going to hold off on some landscaping, and we're probably going to hold off on our side till after the winter. Mm-hmm. Probably put it in the spring. Everything's going to be prepared. It won't be a lot of stuff that'll have to be done, but really landscaping and probably the side, we're going to wait till then. If we put the side down now, it's a Bermuda side. It's going to be dormant. And so during a rain event or something, or, and if we get some snow, it's just going to be muddy up there. So we're going to end up with a gravel base up there, and we're going to put some rubber mats out where people can walk on their skates.
Right.
And we just made that decision. I think it's going to save us money because I think we'd get back into probably re-siding some.
Do it all over again.
Yeah, but we want I cannot believe the excitement about ice skating. It's just unreal.
Yeah, well, and it's unreal. John and I were talking about it earlier. I don't know. Did you see the news story on, I think it was Channel 5, where they were talking about the growth in the Antioch area of Nashville?
Yeah.
And the one of the main reasons for that growth is their ice skating rink that they just built. It's the hub of all things going on. And I went, what is the deal? And they're open, Mayor, 17 hours a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
17 hours a day to accommodate all the people that want to ice skate.
Well, we looked at Bowling Green. I'm trying to look on my phone to see how many views this one post has had. Hang on just a second. I shared the link about the downtown ice skating rink starts day after Thanksgiving. It's reached 27,000 people on my Facebook page.
Already.
And so, Chuck, we looked at that, and it's something we talked about. Jeff Truitt and I actually talked about it the year I was elected in September, and we looked into the possibility of putting it down in Veterans Plaza. Mm-hmm. And number one, we were operating under a budget that we didn't have the money to do it in. It was a budget that was approved before I was elected. And number two, that was really number two, too. We didn't have the money.
Right.
And we probably could have gone to the commission, but being very new in the administration. And then the downtown commons came came along, and as we started that process, I told the folks, I said, look, I want to make sure that we have the infrastructure in to put a temporary ice skating rink in out there every year. And so we've done that, and we're going to have one this year, and it's going to be absolutely awesome.
All right, John.
I got to tell you a little fact about it. I say fact, my numbers aren't going to be exactly right, but we have really communicated a lot with the people in Rapid City, South Dakota that have a park that's very similar to
Rapid
ours.
City, South Dakota.
Rapid City, South Dakota. They have, I think, 4 indoor sheets of ice, and they're a community of about 69,000, and they have over 30,000 outdoor skaters. Now, they've got 4 sheets of ice that are inside, but people want to go outside and ice skate.
Well, that's the way they have it in the movies. Every time you see the movies, they're ice skating, and they're outside. But anyway, County Mayor Jim Durr is our guest. He's going to be with us for a few minutes this morning here on Tuesday with the mayor. We need to take a break. Time now for a Sports Now update on the Big 1400, brought to you by Coffee Break and Cheesecake.
This Sports Now update is presented by Coffee Break and Cheesecake at 1191 Fort Campbell Boulevard, Suite F, where they serve homemade cheesecakes made with only the finest ingredients.
The Ohio Valley Conference will host their annual men's and women's basketball preseason media event today in Evansville, Indiana, the site of the league's 2018 postseason tournament. The OVC tournament has taken place in the league's home city, Nashville, for 23 of the past 24 years, with a 2002 trip to Louisville, the lone diversion. In an early effort to sell the Evansville community on OVC basketball, 11 of the conference's head coaches joined forces yesterday to host a youth clinic at the local YMCA. About 75 kids participated in the event, receiving a YMCA basketball and free tickets to the 2018 OVC Hoops Tournament. Now to the lanes, where both the boys and girls bowling teams at Clarksville Academy picked up region wins last night over the University School of Nashville. The Cougars won 20-7, led by Dawson Bagwell, who bowled a team-high 219. The Lady Cougars, with the help of a school record 246, bowled by Leah Hayes, bested USN 19-8. Lastly, today we take you to the NBA because the Memphis Grizzlies are off to a red-hot start, their best since 2014. The Grizzlies are 3-0 after taking down the Houston Rockets on the road last night, 98-90. Memphis center Marc Gasol was largely responsible for the win, putting up a team-high 26 points and making a difference on defense as the Grizzlies ended the game on a 20-2 run. The Grizzlies will continue their Western road swing on Wednesday night in Dallas against the Mavericks. From the WJZM Sports Desk, this is Sports Now, and I'm Justin Swallows.
How does a quality cup of coffee and a delicious hunk of homemade cheesecake sound right now? It should sound like a trip to Coffee Break and Cheesecake. They're the home of the area's best homemade cheesecake and naturally sourced coffee from the Dominican Republic. Stop in today and choose a slice from their huge list of options, including vegan and gluten-free choices. At Coffee Break and Cheesecake, they make everything with the best available ingredients, and they're waiting to serve you now at 1191 Fort Campbell Boulevard, Suite F, just past Dover Crossing.
The Big 1400, WJZM Radio. Don't forget that Sports Now update comes your way at 9:20, brought to you by Mr. Appliance this morning on the Big 1400. It is Tuesday with the mayor. We're talking with County Mayor Jim Durr, and we're talking about the downtown area. We're talking about what's going on downtown. Well, we're talking about the skating rink, the ice skating rink. I want to just a minute, Mayor. The ice skating rink, the cost will be very affordable from what I read.
Yeah, and it's a budget neutral item. It's going to cost us some money to rent the thing. We've got a company that's actually going to come in and run it. But we have the opportunity, number one, to sell sponsorships, and we've been just overwhelmed with sponsorship opportunities. So we've really maxed out our sponsorships, which we thought we may do, but we weren't sure, and they went in an instant. As soon as we made a phone call, everybody wanted in. And then there'll be a nominal fee to skate, and hopefully if we can get some people to sponsor free skate nights. We can have discount nights, and so there's all kinds of cool things we're going to do with it.
I guess my problem is that I'm thinking, what are you going to do in the middle of July? But this is all year round, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the downtown commons, the skating rink will come out in February.
Right.
And so the commons is going to be just a gathering place. We're going to have all kinds of events up there. I met with a group of Clarksville Academy students last Friday, and they're actually putting together a play on the history of Montgomery County. I think that would be a great night up there, say a Thursday night, is come see Clarksville Academy's rendition of the history of Montgomery County. And I think a lot of people will come to that.
It's just interesting to think about ice skating. So February is when it ends?
Yeah, and we'll kind of do that based on the weather, but more than likely it'll be sometime around the middle to the latter part of February.
March gets pretty cool. It's
pretty
cool.
It
so
does.
It might run a little.
It does. We could run it longer.
Yeah.
We could run it longer, but I think that the whole key to this whole thing is the venue itself, is downtown Commons.
Right.
And since we broke ground down there, we've seen $8.5 million worth of real estate transactions within probably a 2.5 block radius of the Commons. We hadn't seen real estate transactions like that in our downtown since pre-tornado.
Yeah.
The vacant lots at the corner of Commerce and 3rd Street, 2 vacant lots, they've sold. It's an out-of-town developer, and he's looking at a $10 million investment with retail on the bottom, with residential on top, upscale residential. And if you think about that from a tax-based standpoint, if we go out and take a 7-acre tract out Wilma Rudolph Boulevard or out Martin Luther King Boulevard, wherever, and we develop that, well, that puts some strain on our services, or a residential development even. It puts a bigger strain on your services. But if you redevelop in downtown, your services are there. It's not, your infrastructure's there, and so it's not putting a burden on the government to be able to provide those services, and you get a better bang for your tax. You get a better bang for your buck, and it's the absolute best way to increase your tax base. If we can raise our tax base, we can keep our tax rate low. So it's not just let's provide a place for people to come. There's some strategies behind it, some financial strategies behind it as well.
The development downtown, it seems to be that there more and more people are coming on board with, let's build up the downtown area. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and we were talking when you were doing your sports break about the Cunningham family. They've typically done residential, some commercial developments, but they ventured out a couple of years ago and did the Old Glory Distillery. Now they're coming downtown, and I think it's going to be called Strawberry Alley Restaurant and Brew Works. A very, very nice restaurant with really large private banquet rooms if you want to have those things, but very open air. The windows will be where you can open them, and you can sit at a stool with a bar in front of you and just sit right there at the window, and people walking down the sidewalk 3 or 4 feet in front of you. And we just hadn't had that type of stuff. Yeah. And it's going to be neat, man.
So growing, and are we running out of space downtown? I mean, because I look and I think, okay, there's Riverside Drive, and then, you go over to 2nd Street, 3rd Street, and
I don't think we're running out of space, but I think there's a lot of redevelopment opportunities. If you look at the Federal Building, has sold. And Yada Yada Coffee Shop, which is down on Strawberry Alley, they probably got, I don't know how many square feet. It's pretty small, but they have a booming business. They're going to come up to the Federal Building, take the whole top level, turn it into a nice restaurant. On the back side of it, they're going to have an outdoor patio with a bar outside. And the inside, I've seen a picture of the bar that they're proposing to put inside. I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's going to bring people downtown. I give Jeff Robinson a lot of credit. He's hung in there with a Black Horse, but they got a good product, number one. They got a really good product. It's consistent. But it is a go-to place downtown, and people want those type of opportunities. They want to be able to, instead of going to the Black Horse, they want to maybe go to Edwards, or they may want to go to the Rue. And now we're going to just provide more opportunities, and with more opportunities, it's going to bring more people.
Yeah, and then bring more people to those people, as you said, like Jeff, who have stuck with it.
Yeah.
And some of the merchants, other merchants down there, downtown, who have, garment places. And
yeah, I mean, if you look at Regattas and Kaylee Drew's place, Couture Crush, I think is the name of it. There's been several that have been down there a long time. Where Cloud 9 used to be, just yesterday, a place opened up called Hot Pita. And I went by there about 12:30, and you couldn't have stuck another person in it. It looked like a bunch of sardines in a can. You like sardines?
Yes.
I do, too.
I grew up. It's not something I eat all the time, but on occasion, I've got do you like them in mustard or chili sauce?
I like them mustard, chili. I like them straight up on a cracker. It don't matter.
You got to have those saltines.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have a saltine with them. What do you do with them, John? You put a little hot sauce on them?
I like a little hot sauce. So
yeah. He likes hot sauce on everything.
You can actually take them and mush them up, pour a little apple cider vinegar on them, chop up some real fine onion, mix it up, salt and pepper them real good, and eat it as a spread. Man, it tastes like it's something you get at the Taj Mahal.
That sounds good. I'm gonna have to try that.
We're just having this food thing going on. We started with the pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. Now we're going on to Dean's, the sardines. But County Mayor Jim Durrett's our guest here on the Big 1400. The school system. Now the big deal, and I know it's just we talked before about it. It's just in basically the paperwork stages. But you're going to move forward with this.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest issue that we're looking at right now. It's our growth is just unbelievable, and I think part of that's what's going on downtown. I think it's part of what's happening at Austin Peay State University. I think it's part of Hankook. I think it's part of LG. I think it's part of Google. I think it's just part of a big combination of a lot of things. But at our 40-day mark, which is usually a pretty good benchmark to look at 40 days into the school year, I think we're up a little over 12 or 1,300 students than we were last year. Last year, we grew all the way even past Christmas holidays. I think one day in January, we grew like 14 students. And so we've got to address that. And we're looking at a lot of different options on how to address it. I personally want to address it. I don't want to put out the fire that's burning over here, and then another one's going to pop up a year later, and another one's going to pop up a year later. I want to put a fire protection plan in, for lack of a better words, that's going to get us through this. And I personally think that we can do it without property taxes. We're looking at maybe dedicating some of our when these big companies come in, we give them some tax breaks, and then after maybe about 3 years of operation, they start paying some tax payments. And so we're going to look at possibly dedicating some of those funds to school construction. I'll say this. I've got a meeting this afternoon with the school board or with the school system, and I think they need to look at themselves too. I think they need to we have not had a countywide rezoning in quite some time, and I think we need to look at that. We've got some empty seats in some of our schools, and so I think we need to maximize our space. It's I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. It's pretty easy for somebody else to spend money that's not theirs. And I don't say the school system does that, but they need to start helping carry the sword. We're carrying the sword, we being the county commission, and they need to start carrying the sword as well. And I think they need to do some things that maybe makes carrying that sword a little bit easier. And one is countywide rezoning. I've told Millard House that before I could support going to the commission with anything, I've got to see that you've taken every effort you could take.
And they're doing their part.
That they do their part. And I think they're doing that. We'll find out more at our meeting today with them. But it's we went through a spurt in the 90s when we had a lot of industry growth and we had a lot of school growth during that time period. And I think we're seeing that same thing now with Hankook, with LG, with Google. So, I think there's going to be some tough years in front of us. I know we got to grow. School system bought some property out in Kirkwood years ago, and there's a lot of commissioners that don't think that's the right location. There's not a lot of infrastructure out there, and so
that's going towards Guthrie.
Yeah,
Arkadelphia, I think.
Yeah, Arkadelphia. It's out there by close to where Union Carbide used to be. So I think that's going to be some conversations that occur, and we want to do it in a very diplomatic way, in a very civil way, and hopefully we can get a resolution.
Yeah. Jim, and I guess one of the things is that years ago, the state was all over us, because of, we had so many portables, and we had that's one of the things we have to be careful, because the state is still coming in looking at us.
We do, and we've reduced some portables, but we're probably going to have to get back in some of them with this unexpected but somewhat expected growth. But, Chuck, you bring up something. If you look around in everything that you see, we're either the second or the third best school system in the state of Tennessee. And that's one reason that LGs and Googles and Hankook want to come here. There's a lot of other reasons. But that is something that a lot of industries look at, and people look at it. And so we've got this great school system, and we need to maintain that quality. I think it's very, very important that we maintain that quality. And so we've got to figure out a way to maintain that quality and handle our growth. And I think we can do it.
Yeah. County Mayor Jim Durst, our guest here on the Big 1400. It is Tuesday with the mayor. Money always comes up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's always part of it, But I guess, as you said, being proactive is what you're trying to do as the chief executive for the county of Montgomery County. And I guess having said that, you look at, okay, the school system needs to do their due diligence. We're going to do our part. We've got some options that we can go with. And I guess it's, collectively coming to the best option that you can use.
Exactly. Exactly. And, I go back to what I said about, I just don't think we ought to go over here and put out this little fire and this little fire and this little fire. I think we ought to have a plan, a plan to fight all those fires. And, unfortunately, I guess from about 2014 back 20 plus years, we were building a school about every 1.4 years, whether it be an elementary, a middle, or a high school. And that's a pretty big burden on our debt.
What do we have, 30,000 students right now?
No, it's probably about 34,000. It may be pushing 35 right now.
Okay.
But unfortunately, our leadership had always, they'd get by and then they'd raise the taxes, and then they'd get by and they'd raise property taxes, and they never looked at our wheel tax. And so, I think if we put some things in motion where we've got some dedicated funding that will go towards schools, then I think that helps us, and it still allows county government to be able to do the things that we need to do, and we can keep our tax rate low, and I think that's important.
So you got I guess you got your meeting with the school system this afternoon, then the county commission meeting. You're going to continue on with that path, bringing it before them, or you still going to have town hall meetings?
I don't think you'll see anything coming before the county commission in November. Well, I know you won't. But the dialogue is starting, and it's getting heavier and heavier. And so probably what we'll do, depending on the results of this meeting this afternoon, we will probably bring our budget committee in and let our budget committee sit down with the school system as well. And then we'll kind of see what approach we want to take, and then we'll take that, whatever that looks like, whatever that strategy looks like, we'll take that forward to the county commission.
Yeah, as if you don't have enough on your plate. What about the downtown arena? Okay.
Yeah. It's just part of the whole thing. We're moving forward on it, and we actually yesterday we sat down with some construction management firms and did some interviews with some firms. Next week we've got some interviews with some design firms, and this is just to get us to we're going to have some schematic drawings. It's pre-development work. We're going to be looking at the site, make sure that...
Where are you exactly? Where is the site?
Well, we're looking downtown anywhere between 2nd Street and Riverside Drive.
Okay.
And maybe bordered by, let's say, Main Street and Commerce Street. Obviously, if you go all the way to Commerce, you got City Hall in there. So we're kind of... excuse me. We're kind of looking at along the College Street corridor that comes up from Riverside Drive. And... I'm excited about where we are with it, and this step is going to get us to a point where we have a true cost estimate, where we have renderings, where we know that it'll fit on the facility, where we know we've got to address infrastructure being parking, infrastructure being some of our roadways leading in and out to the facility. And so it's just part of the due diligence that we have to do, but we're on track, and we're working on that, and hopefully April, May timeframe, that process will be completed, and we can possibly go to the commission with another request for some budget for maybe design.
High times.
Yeah, and I tell you, I was thinking about it sitting out in the vehicle before I walked in. We get a lot of pushback on some of these projects, and I think a lot of it is really a loud minority. It's not a silent majority, which I think we have a silent majority. We have a loud minority that people that are opposed to some of these things. But if you just look at the investment that we made with Downtown Commons, right around $6 million, the city has $1 million in it. And we've seen $8.5 million worth of real estate transactions that have occurred since we broke ground. And we've got a project just one project that's estimated at a $10 million project. I mean, it's going to pay for itself. And so I think we have to do some things that, to me, it's no different than what we've done to incentivize Hancock. It's no different than what we've done to incentivize Google. And I'm not picking on Hancock or Google or LG, but you do things to create things,
right?
And the government sometimes has to be involved in that. And I honestly believe that you do it. Sometimes it's a government, sometimes it's a public-private partnership, and we're looking at an opportunity right beside Downtown Commons of about a $28 million public-private opportunity. We've got developers that have come in here from Florida. We've had some from New York that are interested in doing that project. It's a project that was basically came out of the TRC, and it's so much interest in it. And so it's, Chuck, I'll be honest with you, it's exciting. It really is.
I'm excited.
There's challenges. I promise you, there's challenges every day, but it's exciting what we can be. And I think we can be, I don't want to be Nashville, but I don't want to hear somebody come up to me and say, well, why can't we have this or why can't we have that? Why do I have to go to Nashville for this? Why do I have to go to Nashville for that? There's some things you're always going to have to go to Nashville. You're going to have to go to Nashville to see the Titans. You're going to have to go there to see the Predators. But, man, if we could have a junior pro hockey team here, if we could have a concert here where Jim and Chuck get up on stage and sing melodies all night long, and people going to come and listen. I mean, we don't have we don't have that venue, and we need that venue. And I'll tell you, it's when you talk about this multi-purpose event center. If you look at, I think Austin Peay is a perfect example. Are we okay on time?
We're good.
If you look what Austin Peay did with their stadium, they upgraded their stadium, and they did it for a number of reasons. But number one, they had to have a facility that they could recruit to. But if you look at what's occurred over there, it's no longer a football game. It's an event. It's a social event.
It is.
And we were talking about it yesterday, that a lot of people go there as a social experience, and the game is just background noise.
What's going on down there?
That's right. Yeah, why is everybody yelling, oh, we scored a touchdown? But you have a university that had a football team that lost 29 straight games, and last year they were putting 5,000 people in the stands for a perennial loser.
Right.
I don't want to call them that because I don't think they're that. But they've created so much energy and so much buzz. That football team and that university and the leadership of the university have created so much buzz in our community. That's going to be a hard ticket to get. And we think we can do the exact same thing with the Multipurpose Event Center. We think we can create a venue that will become a hard ticket to get. Not everyone will be a hard ticket to get, but there'll be hard tickets to get.
Right. And it'll grow, and I think that Clarksville's ready for something like that. You know,
I do too.
The growth, and as you were talking earlier about how companies like Hankook and LG and Google, they look at the quality of life for their employees, which is families, schools, and everything. And I think it's important when you can lay on the table, this is what we've got. We got this event center, and we've got this ice rink, and we've got those things, multiple things.
Yeah, and if we can bring like an organization like the Nashville Predators in to run the facility, who are very interested in running it, they're running the fourth busiest arena in the United States. They were just voted by ESPN as the best
franchise,
professional franchise.
Period. Football, baseball,
period. And so they run a venue there that they don't have hockey there every night. That hockey has an off season, but they run a very successful venue there. And so if they can bring that management and expertise to Clarksville, you know, we're not going to get the Garth Brooks of the world, but there's a lot of up-and-coming people that a lot of people want to go see. And if we can have them here, then people are going to come from Bowling Green. They're going to come from Nashville. They're going to come from Dixon, Hopkinsville. They're going to come in our community. They're going to spend money. A lot of them are going to spend the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Jim Durrett, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Good seeing you. County Mayor Jim Durrett, it is Tuesday with the mayor here on the Big 1400. We need to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
For real estate services, Byers & Harvey can do it all. Real estate sales, rentals, property management, commercial and residential development. Byers & Harvey is Clarksville's oldest independent real estate company and has given continuous service since 1878. Byers & Harvey have 3 locations to serve you: in North Clarksville, in the heart of downtown, and at Sango. For more information and listings, visit them online at buyersandharvey.com. buyersandharvey.com. Byers & Harvey, Clarksville's real estate company.
What if you suddenly found yourself unable to pay your electric bill? Fortunately, help is available. It's called Project Help. By adding an extra $1 to your monthly electric bill, Project Help makes it possible for many in this community to keep the lights and heat on during the cold winter months. Project Help donations are distributed by agencies in this community which treat all applicants with fairness and compassion. This message brought to you by CEMC, Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation, a proud sponsor of Project Help.
Why settle for less when you can get more at Wyatt Johnson in Clarksville, your winning team in Kentucky and Tennessee? Score and win with Wyatt Johnson GMC, Buick, Toyota, Hyundai, Mazda, and Subaru, as well as 3 pre-owned superstores for more selection in minutes versus days, shopping place to place. We are the region's largest GMC Buick dealer, the area's newest Toyota dealer, and home of the Hyundai, Mazda, and Subaru giant. You always get more at your winning team in Kentucky and Tennessee. The Wyatt Johnson Automotive Family in Clarksville.
The Big 1400 is WJZM, Clarksville, Fort Campbell, Hopkinsville.
Moore's Office Supply is Clarksville's office supply and furniture experts. For office equipment, desks, chairs, and more, depend on Moore's Office Supply. Located on Franklin Street across from the Catholic Church, Moore's has been your business partner for office supplies in the Clarksville, Fort Campbell area for years. Call Moore's at 645-7200. That's 645-7200. And we'll deliver it for free. Moore's Office Supplies, Clarksville's office supply headquarters.
In your time of loss, you need to know someone cares. Since 1916, Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home has been serving the Clarksville area with the kindness and respect you deserve. It's their goal to provide quality, compassionate services to you and your family during this very difficult time. Mike Parchman and his staff genuinely care and provide prearranged plans that accept insurance to help ease your pain in your time of grief. Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home. People who care. A name you can trust. Neil Tarpley Parchman Funeral Home. Madison Street in Clarksville.
We've got you covered every step of the way. That's what they do at Clarksville Floor Covering. Carpet, hardwood, tile, laminate, vinyl, and area rugs are what they specialize in. Visit Clarksville Floor Covering and let their on-staff interior designer put it all together to give you the look you want. Locally owned and operated since 1961, Clarksville Floor Covering is conveniently located at 606 North Spring Street, behind Sonic off Riverside Drive. Visit their website at clarksvillefloor-covering.com and be sure to check them out on Facebook.
The Big 1400, WJZM Radio. I was reading an article, and they were talking about Travel and Leisure just released its annual list of America's favorite cities. Now, each year they poll people who've actually lived in each spot, not just visited the spot.
Okay.
So they're all good places to go on vacation or settle down. The big winners, top 10 cities are...
the winner is...
And I happen to know a couple of these very well.
You do?
Number one.
Oh, it must be in Virginia.
Norfolk.
Ah, that's what I'm thinking.
Norfolk, Virginia.
See, I guessed that pretty
Number
quick.
2, New Orleans, Buffalo, New York. They made the top 3 overall and also placed high in a few other categories. But you go Norfolk, New Orleans, Buffalo, Santa Fe, San Francisco, Chicago, Indianapolis, Smashville.
Yes.
Nashville.
Of course it
Greenville,
is.
South Carolina, and Rochester, New York.
You know, one day, Clarksville will be on that list.
Honorable mention, at least.
No, we're going to be on it.
Be on
we're
the
going to
list.
be on. I'm shooting for the stars. We're going to be on it.
Top 10 best cities for food are New Orleans, Norfolk, Buffalo, San Francisco, Santa Fe, Chicago, New York, Portland, Oregon, Scottsdale, and Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville. Louisville.
Louisville.
Come on now. The top 10 friendliest cities are Buffalo, Norfolk, Greenville, New Orleans, San Antonio, Indianapolis, Nashville, Louisville, Fort Worth, and Milwaukee.
This must have been paid for by Louisville.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, hey, it's okay. Louisville's a nice place,
Yeah,
and
it
they
is.
do have some nice restaurants.
I have been there.
Yeah, and they do have some nice
Actually, I
restaurants.
stopped and got gas and went on through. No, I stayed a couple of nights there doing something. I don't know what.
Yeah, you don't remember.
I couldn't tell you. No, I don't remember. I just know I've been there.
The Big 1400, WJZM Radio. Chuck and John, it is Tuesday. 1400 WJZM Radio, 51 degrees. Expect a high today of 61, 38 for an overnight low. Might have to turn on that kindling. There is a chance for maybe a passing shower this afternoon. Other than that, we get into Wednesday. Cooler temperatures. Expect a high of around 58 on Wednesday
this
right
weekend.
now. Yeah.
This weekend, I might turn on the kindling just a little bit.
And put on a long sleeve shirt?
No,
wear a long sleeve shirt?
I'm going to wear a short sleeve shirt. It was nice visit with the mayor today.
You going to wear your shorts?
Yeah.
This
when
weekend?
I'm out, yeah.
Okay.
I'll wear my shorts and a T-shirt.
He's a tough guy.
You can put on the shorts and a little light jacket and be comfortable.
Yeah, okay.
Even when it's 40 or 50.
I like bundling up.
I noticed you like sweater weather.
I do.
That's what you like.
I don't
like
know why
that
I get
sweater
cold
weather.
very easily. So that's why I wear long sleeves most of the time.
But you like sweater weather.
I do.
Saying I don't.
Oh. The good news for a Tuesday.
We had good
news. A 59-year-old guy in England named Tony Kemp recently suffered a mini stroke, and he needed brain surgery. Then something went wrong. The operation took over 18 hours, and he wouldn't wake up afterward.
Ooh, this is
He
serious.
slipped into a coma. It wasn't looking good. He wasn't showing any signs of life, so his doctors suggested they take him off life support.
Oh, no.
But as a last-ditch effort, his wife, Dana, played a song about his favorite soccer team on her iPad. On her iPad. Not on her phone, on her iPad.
Okay. But it wasn't an iPod.
It was on, either one. I got both.
Oh, you got both, Mr. Uptown.
No, it's called the Janner song, and his favorite team is the Plymouth Argyle, and they play it at home games. Janner is a nickname for a person from Plymouth. And when it started playing, Tony opened his eyes. It brought him out of the coma, and he was breathing on his own the next day. Now, he ended up spending 5 months in the hospital, but he's back home now. He's still dealing with some memory loss, but other than that, Tony is doing great.
Well, that's great. All because of
the Janner song.
Yeah.
His favorite song.
His favorite song woke him up.
That's woke him up.
They would have a hard time figuring out what my favorite song was. They'd just be playing them all, I guess. Well, see if this would work.
We just played your favorite song.
What, Brett?
Everything is Beautiful.
Oh.
You know, Ray Stevens.
Yeah, it's okay.
You'd rather hear Ahab the Arab,
well,
right?
We might dig him out tomorrow.
Yeah, we can dig it out. Well, man.
What a great
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Mayor, boy, that made me
Appreciate
feel
County
good.
Mayor Jim Durk coming in and spending some time with us on Tuesday with the mayor.
Forward.
John and I always look forward to being with you, and we thank you for letting us share some time with you. Till tomorrow, be well, my friend. Bye-bye.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
famous.
WJZM, Clarksville.